Hello, I am Lisa LaRose, and I'm a Vancouver comic creator, and I'm here interviewing other fellow creators who are going to be at VanCAF. Welcome, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Renee Nault, and I'm a Victoria comic book artist. I'm the artist of The Handmaid's Tale, and I also do a comic called Witchling.
You're both really great. I have both of those books, and they're awesome. You have a very distinct, beautiful
You.
style. You want to talk a little bit about how you create your images and all the process behind your work?
So I work traditionally. So everything that you see in the comic is just on a piece of paper. I work at about double size and then scan my original paintings.
You scan them yourself?
Yeah.
What kind of scanner do you have? Can I ask?
Like a pretty old one that I don't remember the brand, but it's
Like,
not anything
it's not an
fancy.
Epson, but it gets the job
No,
done.
it's not, unfortunately. It does its job. And like if I have to bump up the colors a bit or the contrast in Photoshop, I do sometimes, but it, yeah, I'd like to upgrade.
Eventually. So what's your favorite part of the comics creating art writing process?
Probably like doing the finishing like painting. I find that scripting and doing thumbnails and layouts is really taxing mentally, and then painting is very relaxing.
Hmm. Yeah, I get that. And so you worked on The Handmaid's Tale, as we talked about. Can you share a bit about what the process of adapting a book to a comic was like? How involved were you in writing?
Yeah, so I did the full adaptation process. So basically, I just started with the novel, came up with a comic book script, and then went from there. But yeah, it was really challenging because the book is quite a bit longer than the comic could be. So it was a real hard process of narrowing down what I wanted to show, making cuts, making more cuts. And in the end, I actually went long and had to add more pages than I was originally going to.
Was this a project that you were approached to do, or is this something you pitched yourself?
No, I was actually approached by Margaret's publishers at McClellan and Stewart, and yeah, they had the idea to do this graphic novel, and of course, I was really excited because I had been a fan of the book for so long.
Cool. And how did this meeting happen? How did they find you?
I think they found me through my illustration work in the LA Times, where I used to do book review illustrations, including a few of Margaret's previous books. So, and then they saw that I could do comics, like I had been doing Witchling for a little while. And so they asked me to come up with like a sort of like a pitch with some sample artwork to show like what my version of The Handmaid's Tale would look like.
That's amazing. So you mentioned illustration. Is that your main thing? Are comics now your main thing? Do you have a job outside of comics and art? What's that like?
So comics are my main thing now for sure. That's almost all I do. But yeah, I come from the illustration world. I used to do editorial and fashion illustration. And then, yeah, I don't have another job. This is the only thing I know how to do. So if I can't make art, I'm gonna probably just work at Starbucks or something.
I'm there as well. I'm like, I have no other marketable skills. I must be an
I
artist.
have a very specialized skill set.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. And it seems to be working
It's
out
okay
so far.
as long as people want you to do that.
Yeah, of course. Have you been keeping busy? Like, do you have projects that you're working on right now?
Yes, I've several projects I'm working on but can't talk about yet. But yeah, I've been keeping very busy, and yeah, there's always more work than I have time for, so that's good.
That's a good thing. And
Definitely.
I want to know if you have themes or motifs that you're drawn to, things that you're interested in exploring in your work, or that draw you to projects.
Yeah. So definitely like myths and legends and history are really fascinating to me. And of course, I like to have women as central characters. Um, I like to sort of do interesting things with the art, so more unusual layouts and such. So yeah, I would say like if I was to pick projects, it would be based on some of those things.
Cool. Is there anything you want to give for advice to new and upcoming comic creators?
I would say, for one thing, just finish things. That's something I'm still having trouble with, but it's like the main thing is like actually do things and finish them and show them to people. Don't just like plan your masterpiece comic for 10 years. And yeah, like make your own style of thing, the stories that you're interested in. Don't try to follow markets or like try to guess what other people will like.
That's great. Now, thank you so much for being interviewed. And I want to ask if there's places people should follow you online, works of yours they should check out. How do they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I've got my website is just reneenault.com. Instagram,
Are
and
you
then on my website you can also read some of Witchling.
are you Renee Nault on both Twitter and Instagram?
Yes,
Very easy to find.
very easy to find.
All right, check out Renee's comics if you haven't, and follow her online. Thanks so much for coming online and having this little VanCAF interview.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to VanCAF next year in person.
Yeah, for sure.